So right now you've got a few people who are still kind of hanging around. The protests have not yet started yet. I'm going to step out of the shot, and so you've got some protesters here, you've got some media here, and some people who were just here to listen in on that news conference. And so the family was able to watch 6 videos, 1 dash cam, 5 body cameras videos, and it was about a total about 18 minutes. And they had some strong words in that news conference, calling it an unjustifiable killing. The district attorney has said in court that the shots weren't fired until Andrew Brown started moving away, trying to flee, and his car hit some deputies. The family disputes that. Let's hear what the family and one of the lawyers had to say just moments ago.
At no point did we see Mr. Brown pose a threat to the law enforcement officers that were there. My friends, I would suggest to you that it was absolutely and unequivocally unjustified. When they opened the door, there were no weapons found. They pulled his body out of the car, laid him face first flat on the ground. As you could see, the bullet wound that went into the back of his head, and then they began to search his home.
The video I seen last week is pretty much the same as what I seen today. Just a few more details, but he wasn't in the wrong at all. What's in the light, what's in the dark gonna come to the light. You know what I'm saying? And it's gonna be like that. He gonna get his justice.
We are now joined by Keith Rivers. He is president of the Pasquotank County NAACP. Your reaction to that news conference?
I think we've heard what we already knew, but to hear it, Kurt, it's numbing. It's everything that I can do to even talk to you, to know that in 2021, that a person could be gunned down, ambushed, is the words that the attorney used. How could a sheriff's department, how could a sheriff amen or put together a tactical unit to go into a residential neighborhood, a school zone with military-grade rifles and ambush one man? That says a lot about the structural integrity. It started with the sheriff. Now it gets to the district attorney, and he does not even want to go out and get a special prosecutor. He said in court that he actually drove the vehicle at them or used the vehicle as a weapon. And here the attorneys, from what they saw on the video, at no time did he use his vehicle as a weapon. He was backing up, according to the attorneys, to get away from a shot that they fired. And then as he turns to continue to leave, they continue to fire. Because
the district attorney contends that the shots didn't start firing until Andrew Brown hit some deputies with his vehicle.
Correct. And according to the attorneys, they said that's not what they saw. You know, I mean, what type of structural integrity do we have in this country? We have a sheriff that authorizes a tactical unit to go into a residential and school zone, which we saw in Breonna Taylor, and one shot went across the street into a man's house, through his walls, through his clock, over the chair where his wife normally sits, into a crock pot.
So I hear some frustration and anger in your voice, and moments ago I heard your voice cracking with emotion.
I mean, it could have been me. It could have been any other black man out here. And this has to stop. Accountability has to take place. And it takes the entire community. White people need to just wake up. We got to start talking about race. Nobody wants to talk about race. That's the elephant in the room. This is not going away. It's happening time and time again. And when we don't hold people accountable, it gives other people permission to do the same. You know, I heard a saying a long time ago. It says, silence speaks loudly. So to be silent and not stand up for justice and to hold people accountable is wrong. How many more black men have to die at the hands of the police?
Keith Rivers, the president of the Pasquotank NAACP, thank you for joining me today. So we're waiting for protests to possibly get underway shortly. I was trying to get some background information on what was planned, and the response was that right now emotions are just kind of raw because of what they heard in that news conference, so there are no formal plans announced as far as what the protests will look like. Again, you heard calls in that news conference for the recusal of the district attorney, Andrew Womble. They say that he has too close of a relationship with law enforcement. There has been no response, no reaction to calls for him to recuse, for him to step aside. We're live in Elizabeth City. Kurt Williams, News 3.